Welcome to this week's crypto update. So, has it been a quiet week? I don't think so. I was trying to figure out what was the appropriate thing to start with in this update because there's been so much happening. And I think it quite simply comes down to one sort of summary piece, and that is the fear and greed index. We're in extreme fear right now, down as low as 20. Usually, when it gets down to that point, it tends to be a good time to buy. But what's actually happening in the market? Why has it got to this position where there is so much fear in the market when on the macro environment of crypto there's so much positive things happening? So what's going on? Is the altcoin season over? Did it ever even begin? And are we moving into a bear market? Or is there opportunities out there? Well, what's caused all of this? So the sell-off continues. So first of all, of course, Trump is in the middle of all of this. Breaking. Bitcoin broader market dips after Trump plans to impose 25% tariffs on EU. During the first cabinet meeting, Trump announced plans for 25% tariffs on the EU. And his quote is, "We have made a decision and we're announcing it very soon. It'll be 25% generally speaking, and that will be on cars and all other things." So in other words, the market has had a huge reaction to this. He's already talked about and is planning on putting in a 25% tariff on Mexico and Canada. There was a huge shake-up when he came out with that. Once again, we see it here. What's really happening here, and is it actually that big a deal? Is it that negative with these tariffs? He did the exact same thing in his previous cycle as president, brought tariffs in, inflation increased for a few months and gradually pulled back. What he's looking to do here is put tariffs on people, have them move their company or some part or their production within the US. This creates jobs. It reduces, those companies then don't face the tariffs, and the overall inflation actually tends to reduce. Will that happen this time? Of course, we don't know that. But based on these announcements, it seems to be shaking up the market a lot. Not the only thing that's happened. We've had the largest hack in history. So, North Korea's Lazarus group are responsible for a Bybit hack, a big exchange, one that's been around for quite a while, resulting in losses of over 1.5 billion. This is the biggest by a mile. The previous biggest was about 600 million. This is 2.5 times bigger. It's big news, no question. But to be fair, Bybit appeared to have everything in order. And in fact, when it actually was announced initially, within the 24 hours, they had everything corrected in place and everybody's funds were okay. So there was actually quite a positive reaction to how Bybit handled this situation. Of course, having the hack in the first place is certainly not positive. But another big piece of news. But what's been happening? Here's the last 5 Fridays. We've had the Trump meme coin liquidity drain. So when the coin came out, all the money, they started to sell out of everything else in order to put the money to catch this Trump meme coin rally, and it sucked the liquidity out of the market. Lots of things dropped off the back of that. The following Friday, we had DeepSeek coming out with their AI model, and this created panic amongst the S&P in general that, because they were doing it at so much cheaper, the question was being asked, well, are the major companies out there like Google and Amazon and Meta and of course Nvidia, are they overpriced based on the money that they're putting into AI, because maybe the whole thing's going to be a whole lot cheaper? Well, Nvidia came out with the results just yesterday, and it's absolutely gangbusters. They're everything's in the tens of billions or even the hundreds of billions. Their profits, their turnover, the upside, their results based on last quarter and this time last year are up like 70-80%. It's absolutely flying it. So the whole DeepSeek thing seems to have been brushed aside. Of course, there might be more to that over time, but there was this massive news, this big shake out of the market on that Friday. It tended to recover quite quickly after that. Then we had the Trump tariffs, the first cycle when he started talking about Mexico and Canada. Then we had the Libre meme coin rug where the president of Argentina was associated with this. It was a huge pump, huge dump, and I think it's going to start, it already has started, I believe, having people question the whole meme coin thing, and is that really the place to invest? Will meme coins have their place? Absolutely. But will be people, stop this running from one to the next, to the next, to the next, literally over hours? I think that's coming to its point, and it's not an area that we've got involved in. I think it's probably coming to the latter end of that, and I think people will start to move into projects now that have actual real use case within the overall market. And then, of course, we've had the Bitcoin Bybit hack. So, what's the overall take here? The bottom line is maybe this cycle is different. Maybe we've already had the top, and maybe we're moving into the bear market. In which case, we've missed it. Or is it that this is just standard practice, the same thing we've seen in every other cycle where there's huge pullbacks, 30 to 50% pullbacks that we've seen in every other cycle. Now, are we seeing much the same? It would appear so. And as this person put it, if you're panic selling now, you're probably a noob, as in new to crypto. A 30% correction in Bitcoin bull cycle is common. It dropped 53% in 2021 and still recovered to an all-time high. Buying when prices rise and selling when they fall is the worst investment strategy. Invest with a clear path. And that clear path bit is really important. What are you investing in? Have you researched it? Do you believe in it? Do you believe in the overall crypto market? If you do, then is this an opportunity? Maybe it is. Matt Hogan, what crypto is digesting right now is the end of meme coin boom. The combination of the millennia meme coin, Libra, and the Lazarus group using meme coins to launder stolen Ethereum will kill it dead. Maybe not today, but within 6 months. I would certainly agree with that thesis. The good news is there are already things ready to replace it, including the institutional adoption of Bitcoin, stablecoins, tokenization, and a rebirth in DeFi, and I believe very strongly in that space. But until they start making their presence felt, the loss of energy will create a drag on the market. So in other words, he's saying we could see this, trundle sideways from here or even come back a bit further, which is certainly a possibility I think is out there. But then it's a question of, do you think the whole thing is dead? Or if you believe in this cycle continuing similar to previous cycles, well then this would be a massive buying opportunity. Which part of the camp do you sit in? So here's Yano, and he's coming out basically saying, confused by those not bidding here. Do you genuinely think the cycle is over? Do you think Trump won't do everything in his power to pump this market? He's heavily invested directly himself through his businesses. He's openly stating he wants the US to be the center of crypto. Do you think he then wants crypto to be, having this really negative situation in it? Maybe short term, it might suit, but long term, don't think so. Do you think the crypto regulations that we've been waiting for several years will have zero impact? So everything that we've been waiting for within the crypto space, the rules and regulations that have been very much against crypto for many years are now starting to lift and really starting to move in a positive way. Do you not think that's going to have a positive impact on crypto over the longer term? Do you not see every major financial institution and fintech launching crypto products? Why would you think they'd be doing that? Like the phrase goes, don't do what they say, do what they do. So while we have all these negative, impactful things coming out every Friday saying, and at a time when liquidity is at its lowest, over the weekend, doesn't it look like it's being manipulated down? Doesn't it look like they're trying to create that fear, which they're being successful doing? People are selling their Bitcoin. Who do you think is buying them? So this is standard practice in crypto. Don't be a seller when on the red days. Be a buyer. On positive side, another all-time high. It's time for another look at Ethereum, and we've been mentioning Ethereum now for 6 to 8 weeks, saying there's something stirring there. There seems to be really positive news coming there. While again, the press on Ethereum has been quite negative, the numbers don't lie. And as of today, there's just under 58 million Ethereum staked. That's an increase of 632,000 in just the past 2 weeks. And in the previous 2 weeks, it had something similar. And that's about 1.48 billion at today's prices. More Ethereum being staked. While all this negative press is happening out there, big institutions are buying it up and staking it. What does that tell you? With so much ETH off the market, supply is tightening fast, setting the stage for a potential. What I'll add to this is this. If you looked at our Insights video recently, my thesis is that the next time Bitcoin runs, Ethereum will go with it. Well, Ethereum is absolutely lining up to do exactly that. When will Bitcoin do that? There might be more of a pullback to come, who knows? Or it could go from here. Maybe go sideways for a bit. But one way or the other, I believe Bitcoin is going to go for another run, make all-time highs once more, probably significantly more than the previous all-time high, and I think Ethereum will run with it, and that will be the true sign of altcoin season. But here's the key. In previous altcoin seasons, all alts ran, everything, even the really crap stuff. Don't think that's going to happen this time. I think you're going to have to be invested in quality stuff, so make sure you know what you're invested in. And here's just a bit of a joke. Who wants to buy Bitcoin at 108,000 when it was pumping? Everyone wanted to buy it. But now it's down at 86,000 or even less, and no one wants it. It just doesn't make sense. If you believe in Bitcoin, surely now you should be going, I want some Bitcoin. Whereas when it was 108, people did want it. It doesn't make sense. Why is everyone's first reaction on red days in the markets to wonder if when they should sell? And then on green days, the first reaction is, if when, to buy. It should be the complete opposite. Year to date, so here's look at some positive stuff that's happening. I've already mentioned what's happening with Ethereum. Year to date, this stablecoin supply has surged by 17.45 billion. This is the liquidity directly related to crypto. This is money on the sidelines ready to buy. El Salvador and Metaplanet doubled down buying the Bitcoin dip. They're not going panic selling, oh my God, Bitcoin's lower. They're going, happy days, Bitcoin's lower. We can buy more of it now with the same amount of money. El Salvador and Metaplanet sees Bitcoin dip to bolster their Bitcoin holdings amidst significant market downturn. China just announced it's injecting 55 billion into its banks. Liquidity. It's coming. Just the start of it. A couple of more things. Citadel Securities plans to become a major crypto liquidity provider, partnering with top exchanges for market access. So big players coming into the market. MicroStrategy, of course, acquired just shy of another 2 billion Bitcoin. They're not, and they bought it before the dip. What will they do during the dip? Robinhood says the SEC is closing investigations into crypto trading platform without enforcement action. There's one after the other where the SEC are no longer chasing crypto. This has to be positive on crypto companies. The latest ones we've seen is OpenSea. Also, they've taken that away. The other one was Uniswap. So gradually they're taking away these legal actions against these various crypto companies. Has to be positive. Raoul Paul, really good macro, looking at the overall and what's happening next. You guys all need to learn patience. This was 2017, very similar macro structure. 528% pullbacks in Bitcoin. Most lasted 2 to 3 months before a new all-time high. All size 65% corrections. And I've shown you there's some of them have gone down even 90% or more. All were nice. Go do something else more constructive than staring at the screen. In other words, the important point here, I believe, is understand the overall market, the cycles that are involved, what's likely to happen next, how you view that and how you know when that's happening, and ensure that whatever you have invested in are quality. If you've invested in quality, it's highly likely during the all season that they're going to do well. So here's something I read and it echoed exactly what I've been thinking. Don't think the markets have topped yet. I certainly don't think we've got anywhere close. Both the ISM and global liquidity are about to take off. I've done videos on both of these. Inflation remains irrelevant, near or below its current levels. Now, I do think inflation has the potential to tick up. I actually think the next one will be lower. It has the potential to tick up with all these tariffs coming in, but in the longer term, I think it comes back down again. And that, of course, is usually positive for crypto, and it will allow the Fed to do what I believe they want to do, which is reduce interest rates, and Trump absolutely wants that, which in turn will give them the opportunity to start printing again, which is more liquidity. Crypto is set to do really well here, including alts. I agree that. Quality alts. Actually, it says that exactly here, though I do think there is going to be a bit more bifurcation, so separation in crypto markets than we are used to. Good assets will do extremely well. Gone are the days when 100% of assets go up just because the market's going up, and I think that's really key. If you want to do well in this market, I think you have to invest in quality. To understand that, do the research, or at least follow someone that is. I think we're still in a typical cycle led by liquidity, which will be followed by a bear market. Absolutely. I think liquidity is key, and we've spoken about that a lot. I think we're still on track to, tracking to the top in quarter four. So last quarter of 25, first quarter of 26, again, something we've been talking about. And finally, as always, hold major. So hold the large cap cryptocurrencies, remain in spot. In other words, don't use leverage, and chill out. Make sure you've picked good stuff. Of course, watch what's happening in the market, and take the opportunities when they come, if you truly believe in the overall cycle. I certainly do. Hope you found that useful. We'll talk to you all very soon.